The invasion plan was perfect, mathematically precise, statistically flawless, culturally catastrophic. The Zarnathi Collective had studied Earth for decades, billions of surveillance hours, petabytes of behavioral data. They had one goal: find the least dangerous day to strike. No military readiness, no global coordination, no leaders in command centers. They fed everything into their logic engine. It spat out one answer: July 4th, United States. Annual planetary distraction event. Low threat level. The invasion order was signed. At exactly 900 UTC, 800 invasion craft entered Earth's atmosphere, invisible to radar, undetectable to satellites. They deployed in formation across major U.S. regions: Washington, D.C., New York, Los Angeles, Dallas, and Nebraska. They weren't sure why Nebraska, but it looked empty and easy. Each ship deployed shock units, tall, armored, multi-limbed enforcers bred for speed, strength, and psychological terror. They were trained to subdue screaming populations. Instead, they heard YEHHHH. In a cul-de-sac in Ohio, 3 shock units landed in a front yard during a neighborhood cookout. A man wearing an apron that said "Kiss the Chef" stared at them, holding a massive plate of ribs. He squinted. "Nice costumes, you boys with Greg. He does that cosplay stuff right." The lead shock unit activated its intimidation display. Red glowing eyes, voice amplifier, claws flexing. The man offered it a rib. "You want sauce on that or dry rub?" In Texas, 6 alien drop pods crashed into a field full of trucks, fireworks, and humans very enthusiastically participating in an explosives-only Independence Day tailgate. The first alien out of its pod got hit in the chest with a bottle rocket. It looked confused. Then a teenager screamed, "Hey, you trying to outshine our finale? Not today, buddy." The crowd mistook the invasion for a rival fireworks crew. The Zarnathi were surrounded, cheered, handed beer, and then promptly beaten unconscious when one of them tried to disable a smoker. In Washington, D.C., an invasion ship attempted to land on the National Mall. It was immediately shot at, not by the military, by 4 historical reenactors with black powder rifles. One of them yelled, "For Washington," another yelled, "My uncle fought in Nam, you son of a." The shock units tried deploying tear gas. Unfortunately, it just made the reenactors angry. They thought it was part of the immersion experience. In a rural part of Kentucky, shock units approached a family barbecuing behind a homemade cannon labeled BTSY. Before the aliens could speak, the father turned and said, "Honey, them boys tryin' to ruin the brisket." Then he lit a fuse. By noon, the Zarnathi command ship was receiving conflicting reports. Target species not responding to fear stimuli. Locals have mistaken our presence for a public festival. Infiltration units are being hugged. One of our lieutenants has been adopted by a group of bikers. Someone keeps playing Born in the USA at maximum volume. We cannot disable it. A 6-year-old has captured an officer using silly string and claimed him as her prize. The Supreme Strategist asked, "What is this, Independence Day?" The cultural AI replied, "A ritual celebration of Earth's most violent rebellion. The dominant species appears to reenact warfare recreationally." The strategist blinked all 6 eyes. "Then why are they smiling?" The AI hesitated. "Unknown." In California, a Zarnathi squad landed near a beach concert. The crowd cheered, thinking it was part of the show. 2 aliens were crowd-surfed. One was handed a guitar. He tried to play it. The feedback knocked him out. The humans laughed, called it performance art, and tipped him $43. By 1600 UTC, invasion progress was at -43%. Zarnathi ships were being graffitied. Shock units were being mocked by children in eagle costumes. One group had been forced to participate in a pie-eating contest. They lost, miserably. At 1700 UTC, the Zarnathi flagship attempted to contact the United Nations. But the UN was closed for the day. Instead, The message was routed to a hotline man by a retired Marine named Frank, who volunteered part-time as emergency patriotic liaison. He picked up and said, "You tried to invade Earth today," the alien replied. "Yes, this was statistically ideal." Frank took a sip of his beer. "Son, today's the day Americans practice for aliens. Bad choice." Then he hung up. The Zarnathi High Command made one decision: retreat, cut losses, extract surviving units, evacuate to orbit, deactivate all ground operations. They expected resistance from military forces. What they got were drunk civilians chasing their ships. In Tennessee, a group of pickup trucks followed a retreating dropship across open fields. The lead truck had a man in the bed standing shirtless, holding a flag, screaming, "You don't leave before the grand finale." The dropship tried evasive maneuvers. The humans stayed with it, because one of the trucks was a modified monster truck named Patriotic Destruction. It could do 130 mph uphill, sideways, while playing Toby Keith. In Colorado, a Zarnathi stealth craft tried to lift off unnoticed. Unfortunately, it powered up during a drone show rehearsal. The human operator locked onto it, thinking it was part of the program. The alien ship's final seconds before blackout showed it covered in red, white, and blue lasers. Then someone hacked its navigation system and uploaded a loop of a bald eagle screeching over the Top Gun theme. The supreme strategist was losing his mind. Every command failed. Shock units reported being defeated in melee combat by food-based weaponry. One squad was pelted with corn dogs. Another had slipped on hot dog water, neutralized by garden hose, buried in inflatable pool. Their armor systems couldn't handle grease, glitter, or grandma rage. In the Florida region, a retreating shuttle was overrun by elderly humans from a retirement community armed with lawn darts, scooters, and margaritas. They called themselves the Gray Patriots. They duct-taped an alien to a patio chair, demanded he apologize to the Statue of Liberty, and made him sing "Sweet Home Alabama." The evacuation order went critical. Zarnathi ships opened their loading bays to extract retreating forces. It was a trap, not humans' trap, their own, because the humans followed them inside. On the Zarnathi heavy cruiser Virtue of Suppression, 2 Marines made it up the landing ramp on dirt bikes. When challenged by the guards, they revved the engines and launched fireworks out of a sidecar-mounted cannon. The invaders, who had never encountered handheld chaos before, broke formation and ran. The humans took the bridge, announced over the PA, "This spaceship belongs to the United States of Exploding Stuff," and then attempted to fly it. Poorly. It crashed into the Pacific. No one was hurt. One alien is still reported missing. Last seen ordering nachos in San Diego. In Arizona, 4 teenagers accidentally activated an alien uplink console by plugging in their phone chargers. The Zarnathi network crashed galaxy-wide. Why? Because the phones autoplayed 27 hours of conspiracy theory podcasts, heavy metal, and flat Earth arguments. The ship AI tried to make sense of the logic. It exploded. Back on the Zarnathi flagship, the situation was now classified as ultra-terminal culture exposure. Definition: subject civilization's behavior cannot be decoded, weaponized, suppressed, or negotiated with due to irrationality, joy, and terrifying enthusiasm for self-inflicted harm. The strategist begged the command council, "Please, let us leave, before they start inviting us to stay." Too late. In Nevada, a delegation of humans led by a group of ranchers and one suspiciously charismatic child approached the downed alien recon team. The child, wearing aviators and a leather jacket, said, "Y'all boys hungry?" The aliens did not answer. The humans handed them a plate of brisket, baked beans, and Kool-Aid. The lead alien cried. Retreat became invasion failure. Then public embarrassment. Then historical trauma. Back in Zarnathi space, footage of the Earth holiday resistance leaked. It showed an alien being pelted with hamburgers while trapped inside a porta-potty. A man slapping a shock unit with a wet towel yelling, "Get off my lawn, E.T." An elderly lady using an alien's plasma rifle to light her cigarette. A child painting, "You suck," on a command drone using face paint and ketchup. The footage was marked classified, never returned to Earth. The Zarnathi Council had one rule: never apologize to primitives, but Earth had forced a rewrite of the rulebook, in bold, with glitter, and barbecue sauce fingerprints. 2 days after the failed invasion, the Zarnathi sent a peace delegation to Earth. Their demands: no retaliation, cease human infiltration of captured Zarnathi ships, immediate return of their captured commander, Tharn the Unyielding, who was last seen judging a chili cook-off in Texas. Earth's response: sure, but the apology's gotta be on live TV. The Zarnathi hesitated. TV, Human Representative Frank, retired Marine, honorary ambassador of Nope, clarified. Yes, global broadcast, and the alien has to wear this. He held up a t-shirt that read, "I tried to invade Earth and all I got was this lousy t-shirt." The Zarnathi delegation arrived with caution. 3 diplomats, 1 translator drone, several ulcers. They were seated at a desk across from a human news anchor known only as Deborah. She was smiling too much. The broadcast began. "Good evening. You're watching the Emergency Galactic Situation Network, sponsored by Baconator 9. Tonight, aliens say sorry." The Zarnathi spokesperson cleared his throat with a squeal that sounded like a bagpipe full of bees. "We, the Zarnathi, humbly request ceasefire and peaceful contact. We underestimated your culture." Frank cut in off camera. "Say it, the word." "Wah, you know the one." The alien paused, then said slowly, painfully, "We're sorry." The world cheered. Fireworks went off again. 3 people shotgunned beers in the background. Social media exploded. Memes flooded every network. A shock unit being carried in a kiddie pool. "We're just trying to vibe now." Alien trying ranch dressing for the first time cried instantly. A TikTok trend called Zarnathi Apology Dance using remixed alien audio. A Minecraft recreation of the entire invasion, where the aliens lose in under 5 minutes. Back on live TV, Deborah leaned in. "So, what lesson did the Zarnathi learn?" The alien looked defeated. "That Earth holidays are strategic anomalies." Frank corrected him. "Nah, son, that every day is like this here." Then a child ran onto set, gave the alien a balloon, and whispered, "You want to come to Grandma's next barbecue?" The alien blinked, paused, then nodded. From orbit, Zarnathi Command intercepted the footage. They stared in horror. Their second-in-command screamed, "Why is he smiling?" Back on Earth, the captured commander Tharn the Unyielding had voluntarily entered the pie-eating contest finals. He was undefeated. He wore jeans, a trucker hat, and a shirt that said "Texas Forever." He did not want to go home. At the UN, global representatives issued a joint statement. "We accept the Zarnathi's apology, and we forgive them, but also we're sending them a holiday calendar to avoid future misunderstandings." Attached was a list. Independence Day, New Year's, Super Bowl, Sunday, Thanksgiving, turkey, fireworks, combat sometimes. April Fool's Day. Absolutely never invade on April Fool's Day. Zarnathi Council classified Earth as a Tier 0X. Hazardous celebration civilization. Recommended policy: do not engage, do not observe, do not ask what the word tailgate means. Meanwhile, in Iowa, 2 Zarnathi officers were found living under assumed identities. One was a DJ, the other managed a taco truck. Both refused to return. They cited too many vibes. 2 weeks after the failed invasion, Earth was officially labeled unconquerable. But not because of military might, because no one could figure us out. The Zarnathi Council issued an emergency directive. Avoid human contact unless absolutely necessary. If required, approach with snacks. Other galactic empires followed. The Narthak hegemony removed Earth from their expansion targets list. The Vectari Confederation replaced their Earth intel files with a single sentence: "Too weird, not worth it." But one race didn't retreat in fear. They showed up with applications. It started with a small request from a Grell ambassador. Could we perhaps stay just for the next one? The what's it called? Labor Day. Then came the Yalaks curious about grilling culture. Then the SRaki drawn in by fireworks and country music. Then dozens more, all asking the same thing. What is a slip and slide and how do we get one? The UN created a new department overnight. The Interstellar Celebration Liaison Office, ICLO, their job. Teach aliens how to survive Earth's parties without dying, crying, or spontaneously combusting. Class 1. Do not drink what Frank hands you unless he's smiling. If he's smiling, run. Class 2. Just because it's in a red cup doesn't mean it's safe. Ever. Meanwhile, Earth's biggest corporations pivoted fast. Amazon Prime launched Galaxy Fest trademark, shipping party kits to colonies across the Orion Arm. Elon Musk started Space CowboyCon, a music festival on Mars featuring zero-gravity line dancing. Someone trademarked stars, stripes, and space, and made a killing on alien-sized American flag onesies. The Zarnathi. They tried to ignore it. They failed. One of their own diplomats defected after falling in love with hot wings, demolition derbies, and a woman named Brenda. They had a wedding in Kentucky. The Zarnathi ambassador wept during the vows. By year's end, Earth was no longer a target. It was a destination. Galactic cruise lines rerouted their entire fleets. Posters appeared across space stations. Earth, come for the chaos. Stay because your ship blew up in a cornfield. Aliens wrote books with titles like Red Solo Cup, The Mystery, How to Win a Human Barbecue Without Getting Arrested, I Survived Florida, an award-winning horror memoir. Even galactic warfare changed. After Earth's invasion incident, several species began adopting human-style celebrations before major battles. Psychological warfare units now included karaoke and mechanical bulls. On more than one planet, conflict ended because both sides were too hungover to fight. And Earth, we monetized it all. We sold fireworks kits with safety warnings like, may cause confusion, awe, or accidental planetary damage. We created intergalactic tailgate days, where humans taught aliens how to deep-fry ice cream and use pool noodles as close combat weapons. We made so much money exporting joy and insanity, we started franchising it. Earth became known not just as a death world, but as a party world. A place where fun was dangerous, the people were chaotic, and the flags had attitude. On the Zarnathi homeworld, one commander looked up at the stars and said, "We should have just invaded Canada." Somewhere in Texas, Commander K. Tharn the Unyielding, now going by Big K, stood behind a grill. He flipped a steak, adjusted his American flag apron, and sipped sweet tea through a bendy straw. An alien child tugged his sleeve. "Sir, why did your people invade Earth?" He thought for a moment, then smiled. "To conquer it." "Did it work?" Katharn looked at the fireworks erupting across the sky, the DJ blasting Country Trap, and the inflatable T-Rex dancing near the bounce house. He sighed. "No, kid. But somehow, we still lost exactly how we needed to."